Welcome to the Christian Business Advantage Podcast, the podcast for Christian authors, speakers, coaches, and virtual assistants. I'm your host, longtime virtual assistant, author, and speaker, Alyssa. On this podcast, we'll talk about how to build an online presence through email marketing, social media marketing, content repurposing, and building and maintaining your website. After serving Christian authors and speakers for over a decade, I have learned a great deal about their greatest needs, and it continues to be a privilege to serve them. Welcome to the podcast. We are wrapping up our series on the few things that actually matter in book marketing, cutting through the noise, and focusing on what truly helps you grow your audience and your impact. So, over the past few weeks, you might recall that we've talked about things like clarifying your message, why getting 50 Amazon reviews really matters, and why starting your email list is so important. So today we're going to bring it all together with something that holds everything else up. Consistency that actually leads to growth. Because here's the truth. Consistency is important, but not all consistency is created equal. When most people hear be consistent, they think, I need to post more, I need to be on more platforms, or I need to show up every day. And that quickly turns into overwhelm and burnout and honestly inconsistency because it's not sustainable. So here's what I want you to hear today. Doing more is not the goal. Doing what matters consistently is the goal. And that means that you don't have to be on every platform. You don't have to post multiple times a day or try to keep up with what everyone else is doing. In fact, that's what's keeping you stuck. So instead, let's simplify. Instead of trying to be everywhere, I want you to choose 1 to 2 platforms and choose them based upon the following. 1, where your audience actually is. 2, what you enjoy, or at least you don't dread. Because let's face it, if you don't enjoy doing it, you won't be consistent with it. And what fits your current season of life. So let's give an example here. If you love writing, maybe do email and Facebook. If you enjoy speaking, maybe do a podcast and Instagram. If you like teaching, maybe do YouTube and email. There honestly is no one-size-fits-all answer, but there's a right fit for you. So because when you choose platforms that align with you, then your consistency becomes easier. So let's talk about what to actually do once you've chosen your platforms. You don't need to make it complicated. You need a simple rhythm. Here is an example. So this is what I call a weekly rhythm example. 1 long form piece of content. Maybe it's a podcast episode. Maybe it's a blog post. Maybe it's a video. And from that, you create 2 to 3 short form posts. They can be for social media. They can be an encouragement post or a key takeaway, different smaller short form posts. Then thirdly is an email. You share your message and you always point back to your content or your book. And that's it. And here's the key. You don't have to create something brand new every time. You can repurpose your podcasts into posts, like blog posts. You can turn a blog post into an email. You can expand on a thought that you've already shared. And that's how you stay consistent without burning out. So what does consistency really look like? Let's redefine consistency for just a moment. It is not posting every single day. It does not mean you are going to never miss. And it's not doing everything perfect. Consistency is showing up in a way that is sustainable for you over a long period of time. So it might look like 1 podcast episode a week, 1 email a week, and a few social posts. And some weeks it might look like less, and that's okay. Because real consistency is built over time, months and years, not days. And consistency, you have to realize that might change based on your season of life. Your consistency needs to match whatever season you're currently in. If you're busy, it's going to look different. If you're in a transition, it's going to look different. Or if you're managing family, work, and everything else, then your rhythm needs to reflect that. You don't have to match someone else's pace. You need to find your pace because the goal is not to sprint for a few weeks. The goal is to keep going. So think about marathon versus sprint, right? I never really knew what that saying meant. And then my daughter took track or started running track. A marathon is long distance. So meaning that you set a pace and you run for a long distance. A sprint, you run really fast for a short distance. We're in for the marathon, not the sprint. So if you've been feeling inconsistent or discouraged, I want to encourage you that you don't need to start over. You just need to start again simply. One or two platforms. Remember, you pick one or two platforms, you create a simple rhythm, and you take the next step. Small, consistent action over time leads to real growth. So this week, I want you to choose your one or two platforms, decide on your simple weekly rhythm, and commit to it for the next 30 days. Keep it simple and keep it sustainable. Now, as we wrap up this series, I hope this has helped you to see that book marketing doesn't have to be complicated. When you focus on your clear message, building trust through reviews, connecting through your email list, and showing up consistently, you will create a foundation that actually leads to growth. So if this series has been helpful, I hope that you will share it with someone else or leave a review. And I would love to help you create a simple, sustainable marketing system for your business. If that's something that you're interested in, you can reach out to my team and I at alyssaavantandcompany.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.